So you've been working for years, you've been saving diligently in your 401ks, your IRAs, and you're starting to think about that proximity to retirement. When am I going to pull the trigger, put the papers on the desk, and go live my best life and enjoy my wealth? You know, we do a lot of analysis with our advisors at REAP Financial, and I'm going to tell you something right now. Oftentimes we show people that they could have retired years sooner than maybe they thought. Everybody's trying to work towards an arbitrary number. I get it. But there's also 5 signs that you might not be able to retire just yet. Today, I'm going to dive into those and a lot more. Good day, everybody. Chris Heerlein here of REAP Financial and host of Retire Ready TV on KXAN here in Austin, Texas, and host of Wealth Radio every Saturday on News Radio KLBJ. If you enjoy our channel, hit the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 signs that you might not be ready to retire just yet. And I want to ask you to stick around with me today. Make sure that you stick till the end, because I'm going to cover the most overlooked point when it comes to true success in retiring. Okay, so what is the first sign that you don't have a clear plan for how to spend your time? Now, a lot of times I've told families, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do in retirement, not when you're going to retire. And you need to be psychologically thinking that you need to be retiring into something and not retiring from something. We have a unique privilege to retire, dozens and dozens of families every year here in Austin, Texas at REAP Financial. And, what we find is that some individuals, they retire and they dive right in to hobbies, living their best life, didn't realize how much they were working and or, even how they had time to work because there's so much to do. Others, it takes a little bit longer. It can take you some time psychologically, even relationally, to ease into this. If you think that you've been working for 20, 30 years, many people, their spouses are going into work, you're working 2 separate jobs, you're leaving in the morning, coming back at night. Well, retirement there's a lot more time that you may be spending together. So psychologically preparing, having some real open and candid conversations with your spouse as to what we're going to do and how we're going to stay active, how we're going to stay sharp. So if you've not spent any time around that, that may be your first sign. Sign number 2 is maybe you haven't considered any tax implications or prepared for healthcare costs. Taxes and healthcare costs are going to be your largest expenses in retirement for most people. Most of you got your mortgage paid off. You did a good job there. You live within your means. You pay off the credit card every month. But here's the thing that shocks a lot of retirees that we serve. It's that they're either going to be in the same tax bracket, if not, in many cases, a higher tax bracket in retirement than they were in their working years. And this happens because you are going to be living on IRAs and 401ks, many of you. And all that money is taxable as income. And so even though the paycheck goes away, you're still going to be showing taxable income. Then you get your Social Security on. And then in your 70s, if you got those type of accounts, you got to take required minimum distributions. Big lump sums of money every year, that's all taxable. And then you don't have a mortgage anymore. You don't have kids on the payroll, so your deductions have gone down in many cases, or maybe you're now just taking standard deductions. So there's a lot of different reasons for this, but it's understanding, you need to get a sense of what tax bracket am I going to be in retirement, and then even more important, are you going to be in a position where you're going to be paying more for healthcare costs? If you subscribe to my channel, tuned into Retire Ready TV or Wealth Radio with me over the years, you know that your healthcare costs, Medicare premiums, they are dictated, how much you're going to pay is dictated by how much income you show in your tax return. So if you have a nice lifestyle and you're showing a lot of income, you may be paying more. And some of our families, we show them that they're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more for the same thing. So you've got Medicare costs throughout your retirement, and then in late life, many people are going to have to pay for long-term care or home health care insurance. And here in the state of Texas, long-term care facilities can easily be in excess of $100,000 a year. And that's not Cadillac care. That's like standard care. So it can really drain the portfolio heavy. And if I could take it a step further, if the bulk of your wealth's in IRAs and 401ks, and you're having to pull $100,000 plus out a year for long-term care in late life, what is that doing to your tax bracket? Particularly if you're a widowed. And now you've got the widow's penalty, because filing as a single filer here in this country is painful. You pay a lot more in taxes typically than you would if you were married. So it's kind of a snowball effect. So you got to keep your eyes on that. Listen, I want you to get a free copy of our retirement income checklist. It's at no cost for all of our YouTube viewers here. Email me right now, retire@reapfinancial.com with YouTube retirement income checklist in the subject line, and my team will have it on its way to your inbox. Okay, so let's talk about sign number 3. You're still financially supporting family. Now think about this. Many of you may have kids that you help get through college. Maybe they're still on the payroll though. To some extent, maybe you're covering insurance costs, or you're covering cell phone bills. I mean, the list can go on. And when you're supporting family, it's a blessing that you're able to do it, but it can be to the detriment of your success in retirement. And so you got to be careful. You got to really look at, what does this expense mean long term? Because remember, in retirement, it's all about the budget, and we're trying to shrink your budget walking into retirement. And we're looking for things that we can cut. So if you're helping kids along the way, that may be a reason to continue working until they are financially independent. Sign number 4 is your portfolio still very high at risk. In your accumulation years, your 20s, 30s, 40s, even your early 50s, taking risk can pay off if you have a long-term objective. And when you're retiring, if you've identified that you have the number you need to retire, you've saved enough, you're shown that you've got what you need to pull this thing off with total success, now risk for you should be like a tool. And when you don't need it, you may want to get rid of some of it because it's costly. But we also know that with inflation and the cost of everything out there, we have to take risk. Fortunately for retirees today, here in 2025, you can get decent returns on cash, bank CDs and money markets, somewhere 4 or 5%. That's much better than what it was 2-3 years ago at literally 0%, 1%. It was dead money. So at bare minimum, you really got to look at your risk profile. Not that you're getting everything to cash, but you want to design your portfolio in a way that you've got some stability, because through the years, as you've been adding money to your accounts, when the stock market falls, you're buying every month in your 401k and your dollar cost averaging, and that can be a good thing. But when you're living on the portfolio, you're taking money out in down markets. That can be a death spiral. And so you want to make sure you got accounts where you got money going up or not going anywhere when the market crashes, right? We want stability. Then you've got money that is going to ebb and flow with the market, but we understand that risk can pay off long term. So you really just need to diversify in a way that you can ensure that you've got your living expenses covered even in a down market, and not have to hit that portfolio as hard as maybe we'd like. So sign number 5 is that you have no budget at all. Maybe you got to think about this from the standpoint of, we know what we make, we pay off the credit card every month, and we live on a kind of a loose, budget. But when you retire, you really got to hone in on exactly what you're spending, because we need to analyze if the number you've saved is going to last longer than you do. Have you saved for longevity? Have you even identified how long your money will last? This is what we do day in and day out for pre-retirees at REAP Financial with our fiduciary advisors. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's so powerful to get that clarity and that confidence of knowing that you've got your number. But that's where we have to start. We got to hone in on what exactly do you need to maintain your lifestyle. So with that said, I want you to click this next video here to learn how to build your best budget for true success in your retirement.